Hey guys, welcome back. Will Beach here, and I just wanted to touch base about how I use, what strategies I use for my momentum trades. Um, I've learned a lot over the past couple of years. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I learn from a lot of experts. I read a bunch of books, and currently, believe it or not, the strategy I'm using is based off of this book, which is Trend Trading for Dummies. This particular one is written by Dr. Barry Burns, founder of TopDogTrading.com. I just picked this up, because I love learning, and I was actually blown away by how good this book is, because it touches base on something that I didn't think about when I first started off. So when I was learning technical analysis and finding different strategies, I was only using like one strategy or maybe two strategies to look for a confirmation trade, and for the most part, it worked. But I also took a lot of losses because it wasn't stable enough. There wasn't enough information to make that trade worthwhile. So this book is actually really good because it has a system that has basically five analysis that you have to make, and then a final confirmation. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like, and I'll put a link to that book in the description. If you want to take a look at that, you can. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up what if you're following this strategy, what it should look like, something like this. Let me bring it up here. I'm using Thinkorswim. All right. So now that my chart is up, and I'm on AMD in case you can't see that. All right. So the volume is up here, but believe it or not, volume isn't even my main concern. So we're gonna just go right down the line of what I would look at. And just so we're on the same page, I'm not a day trader, which means I'm not trading on a 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart, 15-minute chart. I'll reference a 30-minute and an hour chart, but that's just to kind of get a gauge of what my day is going to look like. And that kind of helps check the emotions at the door. It's like, oh, the 30-day says it's probably going to be a down day, so, expect it to go red kind of deal. All right, so with that being said, I use a daily chart and then I confirm on the weekly chart. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like. AMD actually doesn't do anything for me because the first things I'm going to check is it above or below the 50 SMA? As you can see right here, that it is below the 50 SMA. So right off the bat, this would not be something I would look at. I would literally go to the next chart and try and find something that is above it. Okay? So, but just to go through our checks, I'll show you what we're looking at. We have the 80XR. Okay? We want this to be usually not up coming down, but something in this area right here. And what we want to catch is we want to catch it as it approaches a 20 to 25. So right here, that's showing that we got some good push, some good momentum moving. Okay, then we would go down to the MACD. Actually, the MACD is not something I have to confirm on this chart, but it is good to look at to know where you stand. You always want to be above on the MACD. However, yes, we're above, but we're still below that 26-day average. So it's not really looking good here. The third thing is this stochastic slow. Okay, when we're topped out up here at the oversold range, that kind of says, yeah, this probably isn't a good entry because it has to kind of come back down and cool off. And what you can see, it did. It's down here now. So that's something, an indicator. If this were above 80, it would be a no-go right off the bat as well. Momentum, okay, we just want to make sure that the momentum is above the zero line. That's really all that's for. So if these were in line, and I'll go through and try and find something that might look a little better, but if these were in line and everything did check out, I go to the weekly chart. Okay, if my weekly chart or if my daily chart checked out, all I have to do to confirm is make sure the MACD is going upward. That's the only confirmation I need on this chart. Okay. But since it didn't check out, this wouldn't be something that I would trade. Regardless of what the news says, regardless of what the past is, it doesn't matter. When you're trading momentum, when you're trading technical analysis, you follow the rules of the chart. It's that simple. That's where people get mixed up because they use their emotions to make decisions. And the fact is all your questions are answered right on here. And this is a no. So this would not be something I would take. It is something I keep an eye on because it's AMD and it moves a lot. It's got high volatility. But right now, I would not take a long position. And it hasn't really confirmed a short position, so I won't do anything with it. I'm gonna go over to the scanner. Let's see if I can find anything. And just so you guys know, I do trade a little bit of everything, which means I trade some options, I trade some penny stocks. If the chart says it's time to go, it's time to go. So we're back on the daily. Let's look here. So we are hovering above the 50, not by much. And if it is above the 50, we kind of want to make sure that it's starting to curve upward. This does have a slight curve, so that's, I'll give it a chance. Okay, I'll move on to the next step. ADXR is down here. It's sitting at about 18. It has a nice curve in it. It might start going back up, and we want to see it get it above 20, and then it's going to look good. So keep my eye on that. MACD is up, and remember that's not part of what we're looking for, but it is up, but it's still again below that 26 day. Just means that there's not that much push in it, but again, let's keep moving. Stochastic slow. It's not oversold. It is on the higher end, but again, it's not oversold, so there could be some wiggle room in there, and the momentum is up. So this is an actual potential trade right here. I don't know what TRQ is. I don't know the company. I don't care about the company. What I'm looking at is, do the charts say it's worth the trade? That's all that matters with technical analysis, momentum trades. Okay? Does the chart say it's going to go up? It doesn't matter if it's a company that is, Fortune 500 or a company that's just struggling to get by. If the chart says it's going to move, it's probably going to move, and that's what we look for. So now I want to confirm on my weekly chart. So I move over to the weekly chart where again we're looking at the MACD. Is the MACD going in an upward position? And the answer is yes. So it actually has this slight upward position here. Okay? So if I were to look at this, I would say, okay, that's potential. I could take that trade. And then what I kind of do, if that's the case, I actually take it one step further. I go to the hourly chart because I want a good entry point. So I go to the hourly chart and I say, look, I look at the MACD again. The MACD in this particular case has been up for quite a little bit. The stochastic slow is in oversold. So if I were going to take this trade, I would watch it over the next day or so and catch me an entry point that's going to be a bit lower. And how do I decide where that entry point might be? I use Fibonacci to create a Fibonacci retracement or extension, just depends. The extension is a 3-point low to high to low. Okay? And when you understand Fibonacci, you understand that basically it hits these resistant lines. It's going to bounce back a little bit, then it's going to go up a little bit. So let's see what we're looking at here. If we have 0% here, we hit 23%, and it came back down. We hit 38% and it came back down. We started to break over the 38%, which means I can probably expect to see 50 or 61% before it comes back down. And then my ultimate goal is to get to 161%. But again, remember, we want to look at the hourly chart to see where we can get back in. And in this instance, it looks like this 38%, and we got a little resistance over here. If you look at these bars, 313 or 311. And then if you go a little bit lower, you're at 303. So anywhere between like 305 and 315, I think is a fair enough correction, because this is an upward trend. I think that's a fair enough correction, and kind of like your guideline would be that 50-day SMA, because that does create a level of resistance usually. So if we look at this little arch, it's going up. If I kind of traced it back, I would be in that 311 range, somewhere in there. So that's what I would be looking for, about 311. And when the spread isn't that far, 311 and 317, and remember, we're not day trading it, and our goal is going to be much higher than that. I don't get extremely picky if it's that short, but sometimes it has a bigger gap, and then I would be a little more picky about my entry. But all in all, I would say TRQ is you know a good enough buy at this point where I could make an entry and be successful with it. And what I'm going to look for here again is 161% is what I shoot for. 100% is 355 in this case. I need to back out just a little bit more to see where 161 is. It's at 397. So somewhere around 397 would be my ultimate goal. When will it get there? I don't know. We're in a momentum trade, so hopefully soon. But if you got to hold days, weeks, a month, maybe 2 months, it's not the end of the world. That's the point, and look at the difference here. 17 and 97, you would have essentially an 80-cent gain. I mean, that's pretty significant. That if you can cash out 80 cents on that trade, you've done a pretty good job. So that's my goal. That's how I look through everything. I know it's a lot of information. If you'd like more of it to be broken down, I'll be happy to do that. I just want to help teach, educate, share my experience. I truly believe that everyone has the opportunity to trade in the stock market, to be successful in the stock market. There's plenty of ways to make money, and I know working that 9 to 5 sometimes gets stressful, and there's got to be another way to make money. Well, when we study and we work hard, we get there like this. So if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. Follow me on Instagram at Great Trades. I got a Facebook page. Free stock advice is that one. And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll make some more videos for you.